Heather Gray, the Lyme boss here. I'm a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner and bioenergetic practitioner. And maybe you feel like crap. And that's why you need to listen to these high-level experts that I have on my show every week, whether it's Lyme disease, mold toxicity, autoimmune, mental health issues, weight, cancer, you fill in the blank. I guarantee you will find something inspiring, entertaining, something that'll give you hope, practical advice that you can take home at the end of every episode. I highly thank you for joining us, and you're going to just love this next guest. Today is no different, and today is actually going to be really close and near dear to my heart because Miss Lindsay O'Neill is a certified culinary wellness chef. Huge. We need more of those in the world because there's way too many damn people cooking up crap on a regular basis and not enough people actually talking about how real awesome food can be the foundation of health. She's also the founder of smallhinges.health, and she's a career AI technologist, whatever that means, but we're going to find out what that means. So let's welcome everyone, Lindsay, to the show.
Thank you, Heather. Great to see you again.
Yeah, you as well. We met at a conference in Boulder, Colorado, which is just down the street from where I live. Are you local to Colorado, or did you come in for that?
I am in New York.
You're in New
I'm
York. Oh,
a New Yorker, born and bred.
awesome, awesome. Yeah, so that was called Dragonfly. It was pretty awesome. All about women's health. Woohoo!
Ooh,
So yeah, Lindsay, let's talk about the title of the show today is the auto accident that healed autoimmune. Can you dive into that?
absolutely. So, as you mentioned in the intro, I spent most of my career utilizing data to, in a programmatic way, so in an AI way, machine learning, to optimize advertising campaigns. So, like that really annoying advertisement that will follow you around the internet. So, if you go to purchase something like those beautiful earrings that you're wearing, and you don't end up purchasing those, I would build technology that would follow you around the internet and show you those earrings until you purchase them. So that
So
was
you're the one. Oh my
I'm
goodness.
the one.
Or even if you just speak it out loud and then somehow it's like on your Facebook ad
Yeah.
the next day. It's so crazy.
It is wild. Like it's definitely gotten much bigger than originally dreamed up. But when I was at the height of my career about a decade ago, I had two little girls. I was pregnant with my third little baby, and I was just crushing it. I had just taken a company public, the company that actually did that type of advertising and technology, and I felt kind of invincible. I was living the dream life. And that's when I actually got hit by a car when I was 7 months pregnant. And my whole world just came to a screeching halt because I was terrified, but I was also in pain. And what they don't tell you when you're pregnant is that, you can't go on pain meds when you're pregnant. So the pain kept putting me into labor over and over again. They forced me into bed rest, which if you know me, and those of you who are out there that do know me, I don't stop. I'm the Energizer Bunny. And so after that company had gone public, I had made some seed investments in some tech startups and had started another like video exchange technology. And honestly, I felt like, what the heck am I going to do? So after I watched about 7 seasons of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, I helped palliate my pain and distract me from what was going on. I decided I just couldn't live this life anymore. I was on bed rest. I wanted to make sure that my daughter had the best chance of being healthy, and that I did too after I had her. So I drove everybody in my household crazy for the next few weeks, probably a month or so, sending them recipes and supplements. And I was like texting my neighbors. I'm like, hey, can you go to the grocery store and get me papayas? And they're like, what do you need papayas for? I'm like, I hear that they're really good to aid digestion and to help like clear you out so that any of the gunk and toxicity that you have in your body will go away, and that will reduce inflammation, and then I won't feel pain anymore. So I started to get really into like food as medicine, culinary medicine, and without even really knowing that that was a thing. Yeah. And then I have about 10 days early, I go into full blown labor, not like the labor that I had kept going into 6 times before that. And I had an over 9 pound child. And I
Oh,
was like, wow. I mean, and
I've
if you,
met you. You're not very big.
I'm tiny. 5 foot something, 5'4", probably like a buck 10. I've always been tiny. I gained 45 pounds when I was pregnant with her, and she was 9'1". And she never lost weight, like in the hospital. You know how the baby always loses like a couple of ounces. And she was my third. So I was like, all right, this is different. My other two were skinny little minis. And so I was like, all right, I got a big baby on my hands. And what happened was, over the course of the next couple of years, some other traumatic stuff happened. And I think the compounding trauma, both physical and emotional, caused me to go into like full autoimmune. And a couple of years after she was born, like all of my hair fell out. I was hospitalized for crushing pain. I remember going to the car dealership where I just went yesterday to get my car inspected. And they're like, how are you feeling, by the way? Because about 8 years ago, I collapsed on the floor of the car dealership because I was in so much pain. And they had to call my husband at the time to come get the car. And I went to the hospital. And eventually, over the course of many months, when I saw half a dozen doctors, they pinpointed the fact that I had dual autoimmune condition called lupus, which is rheumatoid arthritis and lupus.
Mm.
And the doctors were like, okay, here's some steroids, here's some other medication. You're going to have to take this for the rest of your life. I'm like, guys, I'm 35. there's no chance. I've got a 2-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 6-year-old at home. I need to be functioning. There's a pill for every ill, but I want to get to the root cause of what happened to me. What happened? So I found other opinions, and I found the world of functional health, which you are an amazing practitioner in. And they did all sorts of Lyme testing on me because they thought, oh, well, you must have Lyme. But what happened was, any sort of compounding stress can also trigger underlying autoimmune. And I learned all about my genetic makeup, which predisposes me to autoimmune conditions and predisposes me to higher levels of toxicity, and therefore inflammation, because toxicity in your body, including Lyme's disease, which is a toxin from the tick, can wreak havoc on your body and cause an inflammatory issue that can linger forever and just get worse and worse and worse if it's not addressed. So this doctor that I found put me on this cleanse diet for 3 months. And this 3 months cleanse diet was probably the hardest thing I've ever done, because I was trying to work, take care of 3 little kids, take care of my household and my marriage. And also I was like trying to live my life normally, but I couldn't, because I literally had to remove everything out of my diet, like every single food. I lived off of meal replacement shakes and supplements for weeks. And eventually I detoxed everything out of my body. You should have seen me. I looked like a pizza, like a cheese pizza. Like it was all coming out of my skin. But once I got it all out of me, I reversed my ANA, and I was no longer an autoimmune. And I stayed that way for 5 years. And just until this last summer of 2023, when I actually had an anaphylactic reaction to penicillin, which put me back into autoimmune, but I was able to get out of it pretty quickly within a couple of months.
We were just talking about this before we got on the call, how I just am dealing with a mast cell thing from an IV from glutathione, because I have the genetics that don't detox or utilize glutathione. So it's funny where we go along and we're doing all the right things, and you never know where that weird trigger is going to be that kind of just comes out of nowhere and kicks your ass.
Yeah. And I've taken penicillin before. It was just
I've taken glutathione before.
Yeah. Who knows? I'm 42. Learning new things in our 40s. So I was patting myself on the back. I'm like, good job, Lindsay. You did a great job. You did everything you possibly could do. You completely changed your diet and your lifestyle, a complete 180, and healed yourself. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, how the hell do normal people do this? Like, I love to cook. I grew up in New York. I'm Italian from New York. Like, I love to, but what about people who can't cook? Or what about people that, don't have a supportive partner who helps take care of the kids while you're on your healing journey? Now I'm a single mom. I can't even imagine doing it as a single parent. So I started to think of, well, I use data to make better decisions in advertising, can I just use bio-individual data to make better decisions? Like, why do I have to go through this arduous, painful, costly, time-consuming wellness journey? Why don't I just gather data and then I can just make those small changes? And that's when I was on Facebook, the black hole of the social media. And I saw someone posted, small hinges swing the big door of change. You don't have to change everything to change everything. And I was like, that is a great saying. So that's when I started Small Hinges. And just in time, I started to look through all of the different options for bio-individual testing, anything from genetics to food inflammation triggers, to regular like CBC testing, methylation problems, all sorts of stuff. And I realized that my daughter at 3.5 or so was starting to get these chronic infections. And I was like, okay, well, I can't obviously put a 3.5-year-old through the same stuff that I went through because, she's got to eat and she's still growing and she's not an adult and she can't, do all of the things that I did in my healing journey. So I took a lot of the guesswork out of her healing journey, but she's 9 now. And so it's been a significant path for the last 6 years to get her to a place of optimizing her health and wellness. So she was basically born with low muscle tone, but we didn't know at the time. And we think it might have been because of, the medication I was on during bed rest, which, they don't give you pain medication, but they give you all sorts of other crap that could lead to other things. It's just a downward cycle whenever you try to take a pill to palliate something that can be addressed naturally, or looked into with deeper dive diagnostics. And because I'm such a technology and a data nerd, I found like the most efficacious testing and diagnostics on the planet. And there's a lot that are not even mainstream focused yet. So I worked with a real doctor at Yale Pediatrics up in Greenwich, Connecticut. And her doctor, once I started to change her diet, and really pinpointed which foods I needed to remove from her diet, her health started to shift. And that in conjunction with other healing modalities, like, all of the biohacking stuff, infrared light. She practiced Reiki and other healing modalities like PEMF, meditation, the little 7-year-old doing meditation by the side of her bed every night, getting herself out of the mode of being the sick kid all the time and trying to shift her focus into being healthy and shifting her mindset at 7 years old. And now she's getting certified to practice Reiki. So she's already level 1. She got level 1 when she was 8, and she wants to get level 2 in the next couple of months. And so she went on this healing journey, and I'm like, well, if it works for her, it's got to work for a lot of other people. So I did the certification program through the Harvard School of Public Health and culinary medicine because I was like, I need something to hang my hat on. Like, I need to be a real practitioner. And then I did the wellness coaching program through Ace Fitness in 2020. And honestly, I found that it's like cheating almost. You can help someone figure out exactly what's going on with them and then make small changes to their diet and lifestyle. It's not like, yeah.
That's actually a great place to take a break. We're talking
Yes.
about cheating, and we'll get back into how she's cheating and some of these, more definitive ways that she's helping people when we get back. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
When you're facing painful symptoms, a diagnosis of chronic Lyme, or an autoimmune disease, it can be overwhelming to navigate. You already know mainstream medicine doesn't have the tools to support you, and often even alternative medicine can become a maze of options without sustained results. Modern living puts significant stress on our systems. To counter this, we need a holistic approach, utilizing the latest technology and guided by physicians with decades of clinical experience. This is biological medicine. The Biomed Center in Scottsdale, Arizona is one of the most comprehensive clinics in the world, incorporating the latest diagnostics available, such as full-body MRIs, computer regulation thermography, heart rate variability, toxin screenings, and along with hormone and gut testing, they achieve the broadest look at all systems of the body. Customized protocols are developed by physicians who have treated thousands of patients in chronic disease by optimizing their biological performance. Save yourself years of suffering and searching with a visit to the Biomed Center, Scottsdale. The future of medicine is here.
Hey there. I used to not be able to drink coffee. I always reacted to it horribly. It hurt my stomach. It made me over jittery and would inflame me and cause histamine issues. But not anymore. Now that since I started drinking Danger Coffee by Dave Asprey, it's his next level of coffees. He came out with Bulletproof, and now this is the next level up. So it is mold-free, toxin-free, and he infuses it with minerals and electrolytes. So unlike other coffees, they can actually pull minerals and electrolytes from your system because it's too acidic. It actually helps replenish those. And so I don't react to it at all. I get to have my bulletproof coffee with my MCT oil and my grass-fed butter, and I don't get the jitters, I don't get the crashes, and I love how focused and energized it makes me feel. Again, non-toxic, mold-free, infused with minerals and electrolytes. I absolutely love Danger Coffee. Make sure to check out my website, thelymeboss.com. Go to the resource section and get yours. Awesome. Welcome back, everybody. If you missed the first half, man, you missed quite the story. So let's find out a little bit more about how you help cheat, right? Break the system. Because, as a functional practitioner, I'm always looking to learn more. I usually do the food sensitivity testing always because I feel like that can be, low hanging fruit for folks. But still, a lot of the big blanket stuff that I take people off of, I wonder sometimes if there's a better way, right? If there's an easier way. So I'm curious.
Absolutely. And the food inflammation test is kind of like the cornerstones. So I tried those food sensitivity tests, but it was the data wasn't as strong as I would have liked it to be, because I believe in good data in, good results and output out. And so I found this test by KBMO Diagnostics. It's only available through practitioners, and you can look at 176 different foods against IgG 1 through 4, IgA 1 and 2, and the complement C3d protein. Because what happens is typically a food sensitivity test will only look at IgG, and they might even look at like IgG 1 through 3. But when you have that pathway to autoimmune, which is what I was most concerned about, because I'm like, I can't get sick again. Now I'm a single mom with 3 little kids. I can't get sick again. I can't let my autoimmune flare up. And when it did last year, it was really a mind problem, because I went into that dark place in my mind where I'm like, okay, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. So the IgA is really important to test for, because that is sort of the pathway to, it's like a gateway drug. It's like the gateway to autoimmune. And then the complement protein is what your body's natural response is to inflammatory reaction. So if you're eating the same foods, like at the top of my list, I have asparagus, bananas, broccoli, and vanilla. Like, how would I possibly ever know that healthy foods are bad for me? But I will tell you, Heather, if I eat a banana, you better stay far, far away from me, because you do not want to see what happens. First, I look like 4 months pregnant, and then I'm just like a miserable mess. I'm in so much pain for the rest of the day. I accidentally ate like a piece of broccoli the other day that was in with cauliflower, and I was doubled over in pain. It was awful. So these types of foods, you would never really know to eliminate out of your diet. But the best part about the test is the gut barrier panel that comes along with it. So it's looking at the presence of Candida, zonulin, occludin, and LPS. So if you have any of those things in your gut, in your blood, it means that your gut is leaky. And I know you probably talk about leaky gut a lot, because it's really important to fortify your gut for so many reasons, but mostly because if your food particles and your gut barrier, which is like your gut lining is only the thickness of a single piece of human hair. And then your gut barrier is kind of like, I'm from New York, so I always make this analogy about the Lincoln Tunnel. The Lincoln Tunnel is built out of metal mesh. It's a thin metal mesh. And then it's got all this cement, like probably 20 feet or more of cement because it goes from New York City over to New Jersey, right? So it needs to be really, really strong. But if boats keep coming and like hitting it, or if a big like whale comes by and like tries to break down that thick layer of cement, that's basically what's happening in our gut. And things like sugar sweetened beverages, fried foods, seed oils, but also stress, anxiety, endotoxins, environmental toxins, the skincare that we put on our largest organ of our body, which is our, our skin, our face. All of those things erode that gut layer. And so, if you think of like cars, like food particles, you have cars driving through the Lincoln Tunnel, all of a sudden one gets sucked out into the river, into the Hudson River. And if it's passing through your gut barrier, guess what also it could pass through? Your blood-brain barrier, which could lead to early onset dementia, Alzheimer's, and I don't know about you, Parkinson's disease, all sorts of other stuff. And I've had very close people to me who have passed away from Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, and it is not a fun way to go. It's not a fun way to go. So I want to keep not only my gut healthy so that I can feel good and I can have energy, but I also want to keep my brain healthy so that I can be happy and I can sleep well, and I can regulate my hormones and all that stuff.
Well, and that's the sad thing. We've started taking this into society like this is a normal thing of aging,
Right.
and I'm here and you're here screaming that it doesn't have to be. A lot of Alzheimer's brains also showed a high percentage of Lyme disease. And so this is something that's been on my mind, since I was first diagnosed at 32. Now here I am 45 and my brain is working at a better rate than it has ever worked. And, so I've been reversing that issues. And so no, leaky gut, leaky brain, you heal the gut, you heal the brain. It doesn't have to be that way. You do not have to die with these autoimmune issues. You do not have to get Alzheimer's and dementia. It's crazy to think that so many people now think this is just a normal phase of aging.
Yeah, it's not normal. And our bodies are magical. And the best thing we can do is gather the data so that we can support our bodies in naturally healing. Everybody tells me, oh, well, I get like 4 to 6 hours of sleep per night. I'm like, that's not enough. Body's barely getting into a REM cycle. Your body needs sleep. It needs rest. It needs hydration. It needs nutrition in order to fuel your body. Okay, if you want to drive around in a 1972 Pinto, be my guest. But that car is going to keep breaking down, and it's going to, it's eventually going to crap out soon. But if you want to drive a Lamborghini, you better put some good stuff in there. You better really take care of that car from the outside in, the inside out. And, that's why I look at other things too, not just the food, because you also have to look at like your hormone levels, right? Your genetics, which are the foundation. They're kind of like the roadmap. A lot of people do blood type testing, which is really just like Ayurvedic eating. So I'm a Vata body type, so I need like heat and meat, right? But not everybody needs heat and meat. Some people do better as vegans. And we've gotten so angry in our culture around food. Like people are just yelling at each other. Well, you shouldn't eat meat. Well, you shouldn't do that. You know what? You should do what's best for you. You should figure out exactly what your bio-individual needs are and do exactly what you need to do in order to optimize your health and your life. Because no body is the same. And your body today, Heather, is going to change. Your body today is going to be different from your body 6 months from now. You're inflamed right now. Your body's not going to be inflamed even in the next 3 weeks. You're going to be back to baseline, to normal, and then you can take that baseline and optimize from there.
We were talking before we came on that thank God I'm going through a mast cell response, which I've never had one to this extent, where I'm covered head to toe in hives. And I just got lucky that an hour before we came on here that the majority of the ones on my face are gone. So God willing wanted to have this interview happen because I was this close to canceling because I was like, I cannot go on camera looking like the elephant man, but Luckily it
Look
cleared up,
beautiful.
but I'm my face and everything. I can't believe how puffy I am. But yeah, so it's fascinating. It's a fascinating journey, and it is funny how you get to pat yourself on the back and you're like, I did the things, and then every now and then God goes, ha ha ha, watch this, and kind of knocks you around a little bit. But I know I'm taking it as a sign that I'm supposed to dig deeper into mast cell. And I had a discovery call with someone yesterday who's like, my main complaint is mast cell, and I'm like, okay, well here we go.
Yeah.
Let's dive deep. So yeah. Awesome. So many awesome things. Where can people find you, and like what are you working on right now?
So I'm working on a couple of things, but the main thing I've been working on for the last several years is smallhinges.health. So I do have some recipes and tips. Everything is free on smallhinges.health, and you can go there and check out recipes and all that stuff. If you wanted to do the food inflammation test, you can do that test, and then I will help you customize a meal plan, because that's my area of expertise is food. I love to make healthy food taste good because I'm Italian and I love to eat. And so that's the best place to go. You can follow me on Instagram at Small Hinges. But I'm also really into the biohacking world. So all of these bioenergetic healing modalities,
Yeah.
the
We were just
hyperbaric
showing
chamber.
each other.
Yeah.
We both have our quantum balls. She's wearing hers as a necklace, and I've got mine stuffed in my bra.
Well, I don't have enough room in my bra. I don't have anything in my bra, actually.
Never
We're like,
used to do that until I gained some weight, and I'm like, oh, now I know why those chestier women can put stuff in their bra.
yes. Yeah. I mean, you guys are lucky. But so I got really into biohacking a year ago, so early 2023 with my daughter. I brought her down to Florida to experiment with a technology called the Immortal Chamber. And it's a stacked technology. So it has pulse electrofrequency. It's got vibroacoustic pulse. It's a cool bed. It looks like almost like a thunderbolt or a lightning bolt. You have a cannula in your nose with molecular hydrogen, which really is like, the most powerful antioxidant on the planet, near and infrared light, and then guided meditation, breath work, and a sound bath all in one.
Blast off.
My daughter's muscles were not functioning still properly. She did one 30-minute session, and for a month, I brought her back to Yale Pediatrics a week later. They put leads all over her body to test her muscle function. All of her muscles functioned perfectly for a month.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm a believer because I've seen it happen. And there's lots of efficacious research around each one of those modalities individually, but I think the combination of all of them was really extraordinarily powerful. So I've been making some investments in some biohacking companies, and people are always asking me, I'm just kind of scratching the surface. And I have this amazing business partner, Yelly, who we've come together. She's basically been in charge of bringing these technologies into wellness centers and doctors' offices and high net worth individuals who want to have these types of things in their homes. Even anything as small as the necklace, all the way up to and like we have the Beam minerals that we got at the conference that, spray when you're like trying to feel better, all the way up to
I have my EMF rocks that I have with me when I'm online because it helps, defeat against EMF. So yeah, it's funny. We've got all of our little things around us that help us biohack, right? It helps our bodies because we are just getting inundated with so much foreign crap that it's no wonder that so many autoimmune flare-ups, all the mental health stuff, like we're not living a conducive life for healthy human existence. And
exactly.
Yeah.
So we just opened the Bio Showplace in New York, which is a showroom for biohacking. You can come in and you can check out it's in Westchester County, New York. So you can go to bioshowplace.com, and you can also check out wellnesseternal.com. So Yelly and I created the first, it's like Yelp, but for biohacking, because there's no ratings and reviews platform for biohacking technology. Like, does this actually do something? This is the quantum healing Layla quantum necklace with all my purple quantum balls in here.
How do you test it? That's my curiosity, because I always wonder when I'm, carrying around stuff like this, is How is there a way you like data? Is there a way to test it to actually know if something's working or not?
So the best way I found to test for this type of thing is to just do a muscle test. You've done a muscle
Okay.
test
Yeah,
before, right?
actually, as soon as that came out of my mouth, I was like, oh, muscle test.
Muscle test. And you can do, I saw you do this.
Yeah.
You can do that with your fingers. You can do the fall forward.
Yeah.
You can do the like crystal pendulum type of muscle testing. But really, we are only using 5% of our brain consciously throughout the course of a day. And then when we go to sleep, we unlock a little bit more, like maybe 8 to 10%. But our body knows, like we know we shouldn't have to do all of these diagnostic tests, because somewhere deep down inside of our unconscious brain, our subconscious brain, we know what's bad for us, what's good for us. It's like when a baby won't eat peanuts, or won't eat strawberries, they're probably allergic to it. My middle daughter hated carrots, and I forced her to eat carrots, and then I found out she had the oral allergy the hard way. So she's allergic to raw carrots and celery and all that kind of stuff. So we can muscle test for pretty much anything. How many sprays of beam minerals do I need in order to make me happy? Or we could just use it and see if we feel different. I actually feel different when I wear this. Maybe it's psychosomatic. Maybe it is actually the quantum energy that's healing me. Regardless, it looks
It's
cool.
working. Yeah.
It's working. It goes with most of my outfits. So I'm doing that. And I think Wellness Eternal will be great because it's unbiased feedback. So Wellness Eternal is, right now, it's just video reviews of Yeli and I looking at different technologies and giving you our opinion. But eventually it will evolve to a full-blown platform where everyone can come on board. And if you've experienced a technology or supplement or solution that's in the biohacking realm,
I have an awesome one for you.
Yeah, which one?
Wearing it. It's called a Nikki. It's a watch that's sending frequencies to me right now as we speak through red light. And their claim to fame was through Lyme disease. Their first frequency set was Lyme disease and mold. And I have recorded testimonial of 11-year-olds bedbound with Lyme disease. And then after 3 months of wearing this technology, back at school, back to playing tennis, and it's got all kinds of other frequencies. They're actually making it to where you can white label it too. So if like a certain practitioner has a niche, they can make frequencies around that. But no, so I love the biohacking game. I had no idea that this conversation was going to go this direction with you. So like, I'm geeking out right now. I'm having a blast. But yeah, it sounds like we need to have a deeper conversation.
Yes, girl, anytime. And I'm so grateful that you had me on today. And I hope that people get in touch. You can email me personally at info@smallhinges.health. I would love to hear from everyone, anyone. If you have a concern, if you've already been diagnosed, have been working with Heather and don't know what to cook, I am happy to help you get creative in the kitchen, because that is what I love to do. And then, yeah, if you have any sort of cool biohacking technology to send us, you can email us at wellnesseternal.com.
At wellness. It's funny. So you said that too. I actually have a video cooking series. That's why I said that I knew you were near and dear to my heart. I just didn't know how near and dear to my heart you were. We at wellness, what?
Wellnesseternal.com.
And eternal.
So the whole point of feeling better is to feel better, not just today, right? It's to feel better and live longer. And then it's the reverse too. A lot of people want to live longer, but if you're in a wheelchair and you're debilitated, then what the hell is the
crap?
point of
Forget it.
living
Yeah.
longer? Yeah.
No, thank you.
I'll just kick the bucket and go hang out in heaven. But yeah, I mean, I think that there's so much technology out there. There's so many different solutions. It's like impossible to know what's right for you. So anything from diagnostics all the way through to meeting the right wellness coach to help you with your bio individual needs. Like, anyone that I come across that has Lyme is going straight to you, girl.
Fabulous. Awesome. Well, gosh, this has been exciting and amazing, and I'm so glad we didn't get a whole lot of chance to talk at the event itself. So I'm so glad that you said yes to my invite, and what an awesome show. So I'm so looking forward to this going out. Hey everyone, if you liked what you heard today, if something sparked you up, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share, because that is how the information gets out into the world, right? Don't keep us a secret. So stay tuned, and thanks again, Lindsay, for joining us.
Thank you so much, Heather. Talk to you soon.
Have a healthy day. Make sure to share the love. Like, subscribe, and share. This information is potentially life-saving. Don't keep it to yourself. Make sure to help spread this message. And if you want to experience less pain, have a brain that works, and have more energy, it starts in the kitchen. Download my free 8-video cooking series, Real Cooking for Real Life. No more excuses. Take charge of your health. Start with the free video series at www.thelymeboss.com. That's Lyme. Thank you. Have a blessed day.